wins back the possession. Trying to go up the right side of the field. That is the far side of the field from our vantage point here. Garey working from right to left in their blue uniforms, white shorts, is your Bosco Braves in their dominant white uniforms with navy blue socks and numbers. As the ball is contested back and forth on the far side of the field, and Bosco wins a throw-in. No score here from Bosco Tech in Rosemead, California. Thank you for joining us on Spreaker.com's National Sports Radio. Brian Tabajay, alongside all you fans out there who couldn't make the game, thank you for joining us on this broadcast as they're matching up with the Garey Vikings out of Pomona. Bosco coming off that win last night, 3-1 out in LA against San Gabriel, as it is their second corner kick of the game right now. Bosco looking to threaten here and hopefully put one in the back of the net. Garey knocked one right off of the post early on in the half.
If you need me, text me.
As Bosco now ready for the service inside the box. Alex Nold, one of the tall Braves players, up in the mix. Sarmiento on the back end of that cross. That'll fall out of bounds for another Garey goal kick. And the one thing to really notice out of this half is that Bosco's maintained possession throughout most of the half, and you hear me calling another Garey's Viking goal kick over and over again. That's because Bosco's in their defensive third attacking quite regularly here in the first half, as we're just a few minutes away from the first half whistle. We're in just under 8 minutes to go here from Bosco Tech and Rosemead as Garey serves a through ball, and no real big threat there for your Bosco keeper. That is Matthew Perez, the junior, 6'3", 195. So he had to come out just a few minutes ago and make somewhat of a challenge on a counter play, if you will, for Garey, as they look to just really counter the ball through on any offensive attack, as Bosco's been dominant so far with the possession and scoring chances. Bosco now back and forth we go here right at midfield between Garey and the Braves, as each team kind of feeling each other out still in the first half. Nice switch possession there by Zepeda, and Zepeda earns the ball back on a 1-2. Unfortunately, just sails out of bounds. That was Proust, who came on just a few minutes ago, the forward and central midfielder for your Bosco Braves. So Garey now on a throw-in. And it's flicked on, and a little 1-2 combination along the near side of the field for Garey. Works out to perfection. They also switched the field. So the ball now working along the far side of the field. And Bosco doing a great job really earning that ball back. That was Lorenzo Macias to break up that little possession there for Garey. As Bosco right now playing 4 back, there are 3 attacking forwards for Garey. And 1 player out wide that Logan Martinez right now doesn't see. Thankfully, it is Bosco ball. We go again. So the Braves now working along the right side of the field. And Proust right inside the box and tries to take on his man. He utilizes his length and serves the ball right across the 18-yard box. No one there for the Braves. And Garey turns the ball upfield. Garey now on the far side of the field, and they're attacking third, trying to go around the defense. I mentioned earlier, folks, that Bosco defense just looks really comfortable on that back line. They do play 4 across that back line, and some substitutions coming in right now for the Braves. Alfred Molina does play central midfield, and also Alex Olmos, who was in the game earlier and has come back out and making his way back in, as Tony Arihuela and Zepeda are out. So Olmos and Molina back into the game for the Braves. Throw-in on the far side of the field for the Braves. Long throw-in and deflected back in by Garey. So they have worked some possession here in the last few minutes. We are a few minutes away from the first half whistle. No score here from Bosco Tech High School in Rosemead as there's a service into the box, and Perez has no problem collecting that ball up and making sure his teammates are rolling upfield so he can get this ball away, and he does so. Beautiful kick right down the middle of the field, and nice possession there by your Braves, and a new substitute into the game. Goes pressures along the right side. That is Alfred Molina on the pressure, and they call a Bosco throw-in, and Garey trying to get that throw back. There's no score here. Garey's did hit the post early on in the half, but Bosco's really maintained and controlled most of the possession here in the first half. Garey just looking to counterattack. They do have a little bit of speed up top as well. And a little half volley for Bosco off of that throw-in, and no real threat there as it sails over the goal. That was David Rodriguez on the strike there. Just looked like he just got underneath the ball and really just lifted it a little too high instead of striking it right in the middle of his boot. Now off the goal kick, Cruz wins the ball back for the Braves, and they're tussling back and forth, and it is a Braves throw-in. As the Braves trying to knock it around again, and they start doing so, switch the ball to the far side of the field. There's a strike right down the middle of the field, and that is saved by the Garey keeper. As David Rodriguez had a nice crack at it, about 30 yards out. Nothing doing there for the Braves. 0-0 your score. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first half here from Bosco Tech in Rosemead, California. Thank you for joining me on Spreaker.com's National Sports Radio, here to bring you all the St. John Bosco action from the soccer field. Sarmiento now serves the ball down the field to Macias inside the box, and that is poked away by the Garey defense. So some tedious defenders out there for Bosco to get around, and right now they're just doing a great job making the Braves work, as they're now on the counterattack for the Vikings. They earn a throw into the defensive third of the Braves. Along the far side of the field, no score here, so the official timekeeper is on the field. The head referee, clock showing 2 minutes left, and it stops at 2, and the official timekeeper is on the field. 0-0 your score here from Bosco Tech and Rosemead. As Gil, one of the bright spots in that first half early on, is on the bench right now. He'll probably sit out the rest of the half, as a long throw-in from Garey and a deflected header just sails wide of the Braves' net. As Perez was kind of stuck on his line right there, unsure if that was going wide or not. All he could do was look on. Nonetheless, it's a Bosco goal kick, and they get rid of the ball. Garey now on top of the ball at midfield, trying to work a little 1-2 combination along the far side of the field. And they do so, but sloppily, so out of bounds and a Braves throw-in. Here with just a few minutes left in the first half. No score here in the Tech Winter Tournament, a preseason tournament for their St. John Bosco Braves, as they look to continue their preseason schedule here before diving into some very tough competitive Trinity League play. As Proust now along the right side of the field and drives down the right side, and really if you picked his head up just a second before, you would have seen Sarmiento on the top of the 18-yard box, and he loses the ball. So ball goes out and all the way out to midfield as your first half whistle comes from Bosco Tech High School here in Rosemead, California. Thank you for joining us on Spreaker.com's National Sports Radio. We'll be back shortly with the second half from Bosco Tech here in Rosemead. 0-0 your score between the Braves and the Vikings.